All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner Evening Edition is when I'm doing this one, RosAngel. When we're doing this one, I know it's later where you're at on the East Coast, but Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Remember, get your Sancho shirt. I got the Sancho shirt right here, baby. Sancho Class on patriotwear.com, patriotwear.com. RosAngel, thank you for joining me again. We got a good one today, huh?
𝗬𝗏𝗯𝗀𝗃, it's almost like Sancho smelled it because he came prepared to join us on this show. Hello, everyone's good to be back, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
I had no idea we were going to be talking about this. This just was like perfect. It lined up perfectly. The planets aligned for this one, folks. So we're going to be covering a few topics today, and the first topic is, I've always said OnlyFans is ruining our culture. It's ruining the youth. I mean, none of these kids that are doing this, and I call them kids. Geez, that's crazy, man. Have long-term plans, or really are thinking about the long game, like where this is going to lead them, and when they want to be mothers or anything like that. And I have friends that actually own adult entertainment bars, and they're saying all the girls are like staying home now. They're not even going to these strip clubs anymore because they're all doing OnlyFans. And you have lawyers, doctors, people like with other professions, like respected professions now, having a side gig on OnlyFans, and no one bats an eye to it. But I'm gonna say that it's destroying our culture, and I can't believe Sancho is saying such things. I can't believe I'm saying these things, but it's true. And I guess I'm old school, whatever. But I still know there's, to me, a right and wrong, man. And if you're putting yourself out there, exposing yourself to the public for men or women to just look at, I think it comes with the consequences.
Yeah, I try to stay away from certain topics, but this one has been the first one we're going to start with has been just really hot on the internet. And there are many layers to this besides just what we're going to talk about. And I don't know if you want to just introduce the hot topic that Sancho didn't even know that we were going to discuss today.
Sancho had no idea.
It was a big
Sancho had no
surprise.
idea we were going to be talking about this. But first, folks, let me just knock this out. Get your thehealthyfat.com/Nino. Don't eat breakfast until you learn about the caloric bypass. Your breakfast is setting you up for the entire day to either gain weight or lose it. The term breakfast literally means to break your fast that you started the night before. About 4 hours after you eat dinner, your body switches from the nutrients we get from food to the stored glycogen we have in our bodies. Once glycogen stores are depleted, typically after about 8 to 12 hours of fasting, the body shifts into burning fat for energy. Fatty acids are released from fat stores when they are converted into ketone bodies through a process called ketogenesis. Then when you eat breakfast in the morning, the body starts to cycle again. This is why I fast, by the way. This is where the caloric bypass comes into play. Dr. Gundry, a heart surgeon in California, learned that if you break your nightly fast with something called MCTs, I take this stuff, or medium chain triglycerides, you can actually keep burning fat throughout the day and use it for energy. This stuff is absolutely amazing. But there are specific types of foods that contain these MCTs. Using the breakfast breakthrough, he was able to lose 70 pounds, folks. 70. Just through diet. He did this in his 60s. So you can find out all about it and the exact method by going to thehealthyfat.com/Nino. That's thehealthyfat.com/Nino. Or click on the link below in the description box to get started, folks. Trust me, these MCTs are amazing. Amazing stuff. All right, let's get into this. So here we go, folks. Get ready. So, okay, if I got this right, I'm just going to introduce this the right way. This girl banged 101 guys in how long? In one day, or in how long?
In 14 hours, I believe.
Talk about setting some goals.
Mm-hmm. She's got other ones.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, let's look at this. So, boom, here we go. Let's get started here. Here she is bragging about it, I guess.
On Saturday, I got run through by 101 guys. Now, I've had a lot of backlash so far about it, and I've seen some of the videos and I see your side. Like, I am not trying to encourage all the girls to be doing that, like if they don't want to and feel like they have to do that. But my side.
Okay, already. Wait a second. Did she like test these guys? Do you know? Do you know if she tested these guys for STDs? Do you know that if they use condoms or not? I am very. I mean, what? I mean, I'm sure they use condoms, right?
I'm pretty sure they did. She did ask for STD tests, but that's kind of why this story kind of gets a little bit crazy, because those people, I mean, you know, people in the adult entertainment industry, it's very serious. And they get very, you know, tested and all that stuff. Everybody gets really tested. It's very stringent. Now,
Yeah,
when
but
you're
I mean,
doing
now
something
with-
by yourself, like she did, that's completely independent. It seems from what the next clip will show you that she didn't maybe check all of the boxes, and maybe she wasn't really prepared all the way through.
Ooh.
And her team wasn't prepared all the way through. Maybe they were just focused on one goal and not necessarily considering everybody's health.
It's like, I'm just a girl trying to enjoy myself, trying to have fun, trying to make some content for you all.
Go, girl.
You know, trying to get my bag. Like, this is fun to me. This is what I enjoy. No one is forcing.
And someday she's gonna have kids. You know, someday she's gonna have kids, and this is gonna come back to bite her in the ass, man. This right here, folks, is gonna get her. And that's just my prediction. If she decides to have kids, you know, so many people today don't even want kids. So here's the one that you were talking about. This is so was it 100 men or 101 men? Is this the same girl?
This is the same girl. Her goal was 100, and the end result was 101. So what you're seeing,
So what, the camera
here,
guy got in the action or what?
no, not at all. The people filming this documentary actually did a really good job. They provided a very compassionate, sympathetic lens. It didn't feel perverted in any way. He seemed like the
Sympathetic
most,
lens.
yes, in comparison to everybody else that you see featured here, and also in relationship to her, like she's you know, he's asking her about this journey, what led her to it, and all of this is really interesting because, you know, she has an OnlyFans account, and part of the idea is that she wanted her subscribers to have an opportunity to be part of the casting call.
Wow.
So they submitted.
So
they
these, so
submitted
she,
their
okay, so you're
photos.
telling me these were the OnlyFans subscribers of hers that got to bang her.
Pretty much, but it seems that as the day progressed, the day of that, there were cancellations, and they were scrambling at the last minute to get anyone that they could to just come in and fulfill the bodies, to be part of, so she could make the body
And this
count.
is all for likes and views. That's what this is about.
This is for her OnlyFans. I mean, it's really interesting because it's.
Well, let's hear some more here.
Hey! Hi Lily, I'm Josh.
I'm more of a hooker. How are you?
Okay, nice to meet you. Is it a shoes off house, a shoes on
No,
house?
shoes on. Honestly, I've got a dog. Like, it's a total mess. Do you want a glass of water?
I would love a glass
Honestly,
of water.
I mean, these are like.
Could I have a tea? As a word, like, is that the right like terminology? I'm a YouTuber, so I'm a bit red-faced and new to this world. But what is the like?
People call me anything. Star, escort, OnlyFans girl, anything really. I don't really care. It's not like it bothers me. You know, I don't drink tea.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No. So this.
Do you think she comes from like a broken family? I mean, this is a whole new level of issues. This is a whole new level of like daddy issues to me. I would bet it
Apparently-
starts there. This
Well,
is like a
this is-
father's worst nightmare right here.
This is what's really interesting. Like there is speculation about that. Ultimately, that area seems to be a little gray, but she seems to say that she came from a loving home, and it seems like
Ugh.
her mom is supportive of this. I mean,
You're
there's
kidding
just,
me. You're see no
I mean,
that's so then no, that's a twisted home. If her mom is supportive of this, I'm sorry. That's twisted. That's demonic and twisted. There's nobody, no right mind is supportive of your daughter banging 101 guys in on camera.
now here's the thing. Like, I don't know to what degree her mom is aware of what she did or didn't do. Obviously, now the documentary is out, but when this documentary was being recorded, I don't know the involvement of her mom in terms of how much she knew. I just know that she's aware of it. Now, in minute 24, if you want to go a little further, it's kind of I mean, I recommend, if people are interested, and why am I bringing it up? It's because this represents let's just be real, like with inflation, economics, like what you were saying, people make more on OnlyFans than they do sometimes, like in a whole year. They may make that in a week or a month or whatever.
Millions a month. Millions a month.
Alex.
Bye.
The whole thing, I think I'm realizing, is actually more mental than we originally thought. There are 100 men turning up to have sex with her for 5 minutes each in a single day. I mean, there's a decent chance that one of them is going to be dangerous. One of them might have a weapon, have a criminal record. A few of them will have STIs. I can just on a basic statistic, you can know that a few of them are going to have STIs. So let's just hope those condoms are good ones.
I had a sinking feeling that perhaps Lily hadn't fully thought through the challenge she was undertaking.
They're making this look like she's training for like an event. Well, I guess it is an event. I mean, but you know what I mean? They're making it seem like she's an athlete, like an Olympic athlete. What happened to the days when we used to respect those type of people? You know, people winning bronze, silver, gold medals, training for, you know, an ice skating competition, boxing, whatever. Now society's degenerated so much that we're down to this now. This is where we're at now. This is so sad. Like this is pathetic. She gets a pathetic award. Seriously.
How are we looking? We're 1 week away.
I think we've got about 50% of them confirmed.
And then you're checking that they've done an STI test?
Yeah, so prioritizing guys who have STI tests. They have to screenshot the results kind of thing. But this is the thing with it, like you can never 100% know if they've had an STI test. And even if they had, they could have slept with 10 girls in between the test and things like that. It's more just like, you know what you're getting involved in if you're willing to participate.
Are you going to kiss any of the guys?
Definitely. I feel like some of them would be a bit put off, especially when they know I've just had like 57 guys.
Wow, man. Wow. She doesn't care at all. Like, man, to me, I see just an empty void. Like, I just see no soul. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is a whole new type of animal, man. You know, even back in the day when I was going to school, like these girls just, they were the girls that got around, but they would never admit it, you know. But now it's like it's a free for all. It's a free for all. Should I jump to the?
Well, play the next 30 seconds.
Okay.
It gets a little cringier.
Inside me or whatever.
Why do you think that would put them off?
I think it's more if someone's to my face. I can imagine that's what's put another guy off.
So you would let like these guys do that on your face?
Yeah.
And in your mouth?
Yeah.
What if they had HIV?
Is that where it comes from? With spunk in the mouth?
It can.
Oh, really? See, I've never really thought about that. Last time when I did it, all of them could in their mouths. I can't really explain it.
So that was part of what I wanted you to hear. You see, like, how dangerous this is, and this is why this was a turning point as to why I decided that I wanted to cover it and share it, because it's one thing to be, you know, engaging in an event, but then if you're gonna do something like this, I think that there should have been a lot more care in the health checks. She's saying that she's trusting a screenshot, and then there's time between when they got that and when there's just too many holes. Like,
but she's really not being safe though anyway, because she's letting them will ejaculate on her face. So, I mean, wow, that's like she doesn't care. She doesn't even know anything about any kind of. She has no standard of health at all. None.
And not even like when there's clips of her looking at who's submitting to like to be considered, and she recognized people that I believe were even her father's friends, if I'm not mistaken.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, did they make the cut? I don't know, but this is what I mean, that she's very she's definitely very comfortable and loose in her sexuality. And as a matter of fact, there's another clip that was going around. It was too long of a reaction video in which
Is it the next one?
No. It's just she did like an interview on this podcast, and a guy was there waiting, and the girlfriend, you don't see her, she's off, but pretty much a guy shows up with his girlfriend, and then Lily has a podcast with those guys. Cut to the guy that's there with his girlfriend goes with Lily. They disappear for a couple of minutes in the room and have sex, and the girlfriend's waiting while they go into the room and then come out, and everybody just seems to be okay, and she's all really like cavalier, and I'm like, what world are we in right now?
Yeah, this is crazy. You know what she reminds me of? This is like Russian roulette, what she's playing with, and like, and I mean in all ways, her life, her reputation, everything, especially when she's like, she's not even thinking about when she hits, I don't know, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I mean, just how this is going to devastate her. She's going to be so disgusted with herself. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I know girls that are not a quarter as bad as this girl that regret their lives for what they did. Seriously. Because I'm at that age now. I'm in that age range now in my 40s where all the girls that were like not this bad, but I don't think you could possibly be this bad, but that were like doing this kind of crazy stuff in my day are totally regretful. And none of them are, I don't even think any of them are married. And if they do, they've been divorced 3, 4, or 5 times. You know what I mean? It's just, it reminds me of like when you're driving on the freeway and you see that guy just go zoom right past you in a motorcycle. And you're like, oh, any day now, buddy, any day. You know, like, you know, a wreck is just has that guy's name all over it. You know what I mean? That's like her. That's the way I see her future. Does that make sense at all?
That totally makes sense. Before we jump off this, I would just say go to minute 40 so that you can see. We'll skip when she meets the boys, and we'll go right to minute 40 when the director comes back in after waiting all day outside, and then interviews her immediately after the 101.
Oh, really?
Redeemed themselves because they've been like that nervous.
How do you think Lily found it?
I think, do you know, I've not had the chance to speak to her.
Who is this that he's talking to right here?
This is her PA. So this was kind of what was a little weird too, right? You know how in the beginning the director saying, like, he's saying, I have concerns, like there's all these men that are gonna be coming in and out. She has, you know, that assistant. He and his team were outside. They weren't allowed to be in the home. Then did she have security? Was it just women? Like, any person could have been violent with this lady. Like, there's so many things, so many danger spots that could have happened, and she really left herself vulnerable. Like, so she's not these even guys just lining up waiting, and they would take turns like a couple of minutes. They were all promised around 5 minutes, and it was more than one each time. So like it would be like a tap out, next.
Wow.
So this is when you kind of see like the next scene after this. Like, if you keep playing, you see a little bit. She describes what it was like.
They're acting like this is like the Ali Fraser, man. Like, she just went 15 rounds.
Too much. She's been in there all day, and we've just like chucked her in the shower, and, like, she's exhausted. She's like, the first thing she said was like, I need a Nando's. I was like,
you've earned a Nando's.
Yeah, the Nando's is ordered. She's took it like a champ. She's done so well.
She took it like a champ. Like, she's getting credit for this. Like, wow. It's just time for the world to end, man. Seriously. It's time. It's time. It's game over, man. This is it. This is the bottom. I don't see anything else. I don't.
Wow. Every time I've said, "Are you okay? Do you need a breather?" She's like, "No, no, no, bring the next guy in."
Seeing 100 guys come to have sex with Lily in one day, was that like something that obviously...
That part didn't feel too intense. It was more checking in on Lily felt intense.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Lily offered to show me the aftermath of their stunt.
Oh, it stinks.
What does it smell like?
Like brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Oh, holy shit.
I guess it. You actually can.
That's horrific, man. That is her. Oh. Oh man. All right.
So right after that scene is when he captures the vulnerable moment with her, where people are like, how did you feel? And she's like, she gets emotional, right? And so she's defending that, saying that, that was just like, he just caught me at a moment. And, he had directors obviously privileged to record this and air it the way it did. I'm not really sad. I don't really have regrets. It was just that I was tired all day. And even Candace had an opportunity to ask her some pointed questions, and she did a really great job with her questions. And, coming from a very sympathetic ear, I mean, you have had people like Russell Brand, the guys from the Daily Wire, all of them sort of just being almost big brother, big sister in the internet waves, trying to convey a message. And look, to each their own, but...
Trying to convey a message to her?
Yes.
What sympathetic how? Like what does she need sympathy for? I'm confused here. She's disgusting. That's how I look at it. I mean, sorry. I'm sorry, and this is coming from Sancho. I'm just telling you, like, there's no way she would, men, and I'm gonna say it, men only respect women for as much as they respect themselves. She has zero respect for herself, and therefore, how can I respect her? It's got to be said.
So here's my question, David, because as I've been diving deep into this 𝗏𝗏𝗏, there's a lot of different sides to this. Obviously, you have the camp that's concerned about, like, Abba and Preach. One of their points was this could have been a legit super spreader event, right?
So
Like,
they did not wear condoms,
I think they wore condoms, but think about it, like,
but they were still. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
if there's juices being exchanged and she's kissing these guys, and in the aftermath, she tells the guy that her eyes were burning. Why were her eyes burning? Because of all the situations that was coming toward her, right? So yeah, like that, this could have been an unhealthy situation. I pray that nothing gets materializes, that everybody is indeed safe.
This is
and then what does this say? This was my question. What does this say about the men who jumped at the shot to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Hey, I'm number 67. I'm number 68. I'm going to go in with you in this sweaty room, in this Airbnb with all these fellas that I've never seen. And we're just going to want. And then I'm leaving. Like, what does that say about the whole thing? It's so disturbing to me.
I guess, the way I see it is like, this is no different than someone self-deleting themselves or drinking themselves to death. It's the same way. I mean, that takes some serious, like, psychological analysis to, like, look at somebody and really treat them for whatever the hell she's going through in life, why she wants to put herself at risk like this. It's subconscious or whatever. But, it's the same thing as the alcoholic at the bar, just putting one after another down, that just, they don't want to do this to themselves right away, but they'll do this every day, every night, and to me, it's the same personality. She's playing with fire, completely playing with fire. And if it's not too late, I hope she does get help. But like I said, your reputation is damaged forever.
But she doesn't care, because she sees it like she's making some money. She's independent.
But where's that money going to go? To medical bills?
Those are great questions and points that you're raising. I mean, this is sort of like what happens to a lot of modern women. I mean, I went through a lot of the modern women bullshit and woke up in some senses way too late to some of the bullshit. So yeah, so now she's planning her next move.
1,000?
1,000.
Are you still planning to do what I've called the 1,000 man challenge?
The man challenge. Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah. So my assistant's currently going through the 5,000 applications we have. It will take place in England.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
They'll be getting, honestly, as quick as possible, in, out. I just want a conveyor belt.
She needs a rotating door. Wow. 1,000 men. Look, I'm just gonna say I'm done spending time on this. Like I don't want to give her any more attention. I already gave her way too much attention. Let's get to the drones. So Phoenix, right? Phoenix, they spotted drones. Now they're being spotted everywhere. I know that. I think Trump has a speech in Phoenix, doesn't he?
Yeah, I believe it happened today for MFest.
Wow. Yeah, these are becoming. See, this to me feels like they're getting ready to play the alien card. I don't know how you feel about it, but there's nothing else rings in my mind than the alien card. I think this is what it is. I think this is what they're going for right now, because yes, they're drones, but they're getting everybody to look up in the sky, and they're seeing UAPs. They're going to start seeing, I think, some kind of holographic technology. You know, in 2016, when 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 lost, she said, "Is it time to play the alien card?" And that was 8 years ago. So fast forward 8 years, here we are. It looks like it's time.
Yeah, these are a little spooky.
Is that a plane coming in right there?
I think so, but no one's really been able to identify what the heck this is. And more sightings are continuing everywhere, and other people are even reporting sightings in different parts of the world. But again, there's always things flying on top, the satellites and drones and airplanes and a whole bunch of stuff.
Man, I started in New Jersey. Is that the one that crashed?
So start around 1:40 and play for a few minutes. This is like a reaction to a reaction.
Take a look at this.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. That's the skyline over there. I'm gonna see if I can film this. It keeps showing up outside. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey.
I'm gonna try to zoom in on this. Oh my gosh, do you see that? What the?
Yo!
Bro, I've seen it all over TikTok. Now I'm literally seeing them in person. This is right next to Nashville.
So let me ask you this. How do we not know this is AI? I mean, see, that's another thing too. I mean, this
right, AI or drones moving in a pattern like you said, a hologram of sorts.
That maneuver it just did was, I had Ellie Marzulli on Nino's Corner.tv, and he was talking about this. They're obviously starting to use non-human technology is what they're starting to use now. So look, I think Trump is such a threat. They really believe they were going to seal the deal that they have to play this card now.
Tennessee, right in Nashville, Tennessee.
In the very beginning, it did feel a little fake, though. It felt like CGI, but thoughts, guys?
Look at the way it spreads out. Are you not just like mind blown right now? I believe that is 100% real because I saw something exactly like that 6 months ago down here in Florida. So I know that people are seeing these things in the sky. I believe it.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, that sudden movement is...
Yeah, that maneuver right there was something that, I mean, that's non-human right there. That's non-human technology, or it's AI CGI. Right?
It's creepy. It's so creepy. Now, here's the thing, right? Because I had an X base last Monday, and there was a former NYPD detective who specialized in intelligence for his career. So he was kind of saying, because I brought up all of these questions, and he is saying, hey, he thinks that obviously it's a threat, and that the government knows what it is, and that us maybe getting lost in the UAP story like Stephen Greer says in another video, takes away and minimizes from the potential real serious danger that we might be perceiving. So if you're like, oh my God, is that an alien or UFO, versus, oh my God, is that a Chinese drone, or are they spy, or are they like about to attack us?
I think this is what I've talked about for the last 5 years, that they're gonna play the alien card and everyone would laugh at me, and look where we're at.
Out there, what are people seeing?
Well, it's a complex story that make it very succinct. We did predict this 30 years ago, that they would begin to launch some activity equivalent to a false to make it look like there's some sort of alien attack or threat.
Back to the drones. Can you unequivocally say that none of the drones that are being spotted are DoD assets or something that's being tested within the Defense Department? Are all of these either civilian or otherwise, but just not Department of Defense drones?
You're talking about the drones in New Jersey up and down the... Yes, they are not DoD assets.
None of them are?
To my knowledge, none of them are.
Okay, and are there any sort of experimental programs going on where maybe drones are being tested that...
To my knowledge, no.
In reality, it's a response to what's happening. And I've recently told the incoming members of the administration this, and people at the Senate Intelligence and Armed Services Committee, that we have a team of about 6 different black sites that have been running illegal projects related to so-called UAPs and UFOs.
Exactly. And, I'm going to bring David Wilcock on to talk about this as well. 𝗬𝗓𝗠𝗄𝗎 did a great job talking about this, folks. It's on Nino's Corner.tv, but this is something now, you got to remember, this is their final card. This is their big play. This is their Hail Mary. This is what they're going for. They're going all in on this now. And it's not going to tone down at all. It's just going to escalate. And look, we just showed the video where they're happening over Phoenix.
Coming forward in the next 30 days or so, they will bring forth dispositive evidence of this and the fact that these programs have been run illegally and outside of constitutional oversight. This is a ramp up to divert attention from that activity and could lead to some other events that would be catastrophic. This is a very dangerous situation. Nothing people are seeing has anything to do with aliens or extraterrestrial intelligence. It has to do with trying to maintain the cover-up on a secret program that went black, but illegal black, back in the late 1950s. So we're into 65, 70 years of some very dangerous operations. Now, these men that are defecting are coming out of some sites I've been at. I was in a helicopter last year, which after that I was almost killed, frankly. And we were over these black sites and saw the openings that go into underground facilities where there are the man-made UFOs that come out, but also where they have illegal electromagnetic pulse weapons where they target and down the extraterrestrial vehicles that are then reverse engineered.
So see, there you go. Reverse engineered. That's what 𝗬𝗓𝗠𝗄𝗎 was talking about on my show, that this is non-human technology that they're using right now. Interesting.
Isn't it crazy? So before we get to that next little clip, that one, the other day there was some news stories, and I don't know if you heard about this, David, because this is such a big story, that somebody was driving around with like a meter that detects radiation, and they were detecting spike levels in certain areas. I don't know. I don't remember if they were driving in New York or in New Jersey. So there were a couple of articles on that. And
I saw something on that, and I've been talking about this on my shows about this spiked. People are using Geiger counters, going out there and detecting high levels of radiation, right?
Isn't that a little bit scary? And they were pinpointing where it was. And now this other report that came out a couple of days ago is that apparently they've even found 70 towns, I believe, in New Jersey. Their water is coming out smelling and tasting like turpentine and nail polish.
This one here.
And
you're telling me that, hold on, let me get this going, folks. Wow.
Yeah, it still has that odor of nail polish.
I say turpentine because, it's that
strong. He and his wife, 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗁, still don't know why it smells that way, and they're not alone. Residents across.
And I thought El Paso water smelled bad. I don't think there's anything worse than El Paso water. Seriously, maybe Detroit. Where is this? New Jersey and New York,
Jersey. Right? So the bochinche is that the 70 towns where this reservoir is that feeds this the water to these people, that this is the same area where some of the drones were being spotted. And
is
you know
that why they say watch the water?
Oh my God!
Right?
Ay, Dios mío!
Watch
and then
the water.
Haven't there been also some sightings of people saying that they're detecting that some of these things are spraying something?
Yes.
But here's the other thing, right? Because I don't want to blame this only on the drones. There has been a massive amount of that, the special airplanes, that created the line clouds in the sky, like to such a degree that even someone like Naomi Wolf, who said that she traveled like a whole bunch of states in a couple of days, she said that everywhere she went, it was incredibly overcast and she didn't see the sun. Now, I have noticed, and my sister too, that every single time there's one of these line cloud situations and then it snows or rains the next day, that a lot of us don't feel the best.
Right.
So could that also be a part of our water getting
I think it's
affected
coming
overall?
I think it's all coming from the same source, the same people doing it. I mean, what does it matter if it's a drone or a plane? But there are accounts of these drones spraying. Yes. Well, folks, I hope if you're in the New Jersey, New York area, watch the water. Don't drink the water. That's all I can say. That makes a lot of sense to me now. A lot of sense to me now. Let's get to Stephen Baldwin. Our next subject, folks, is Stephen Baldwin, the cryptic messages he's leaving on his social media. And you got to remember, Stephen Baldwin is Justin Bieber's father-in-law, right? So he's 1 degree. He's 1 degree of separation. He's right there. He knows what's going on. So he's trolling Hollywood actors. In my mind, this man is scaring the hell out of them.
It is all of them. All of them. And not one will be able to escape.
You got to think of this, RosAngel. This is why they're playing the alien card. This is why. Because they all know they're going down. They all know they're going down. This is going to be the big part of it.
It is all of them. All of them.
Jeez. This is getting real, man. The war is coming to a head, folks. And what's this one?
I think this is a clip from a movie, but it's the interesting, obviously, because he's dropping all these cryptic messages.
So he probably knows what Justin Bieber went through. Is my hunch. It's just what my instincts are telling me. He knows what Justin Bieber went through. He's heard the stories. He probably knows Justin Bieber is talking to people. He probably knows these people are going down. He probably knows the whole web of people. This guy probably knows it all. He probably has the goods on everybody. And look how he just doesn't care. He's going out there to dropping these cryptic messages because he knows, man, it's the gig is up. It's over for these people. And it's probably so horrific that he's putting himself on the line, man.
We've seen 40 of them flying in formation. They've got bases all over the world now, They've been coming here ever since 1946, when the scientists first started bouncing radar beams off of the moon. And they have been living and working among us in vast quantities ever since. The government knows.
Jeez, so this is about the aliens then, this one. This is what this is about.
See why I chose this one specifically, because it's in everybody's minds.
I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't heard anything. I've heard the same thing. Have you never seen that movie, They Live? I mean,
I have a terrible movie memory.
Oh, it's I'm sure my audience knows the movie They Live. Folks, if you know the movie They Live, put a thumbs up down there in the link in the comments. But I think that's our reality. Seriously, I think these things are among us.
It's all about them. What are you talking, man? They are people just like us from within our own solar system, except that their society is more highly evolved. I mean, they don't have no wars. They got no monetary system. They don't have any leaders because, I mean, each man is a leader. Because of their technology, they are able to feed, clothe, house, and transport themselves equally and with no effort.
Damn.
That's a tripping, cryptic message. And then, you know, he's putting ghosts, UAPs, special forces, Hollywood.
And this is De Niro?
No, this is still him, but talking about De Niro and referencing people building their own content and movie houses. And this is, I believe, he's talking to PBD, Patrick Bet David.
$1 billion studio. How is that going to make money? What's the business plan? Is it over 30 years? That's my question.
De Niro's 81, isn't he? Like, what? How old is De Niro?
But that's what I'm saying. In the rating system of Hollywood, PG-13, rated R.
You know this guy does not get along with his brother Alec. Right? What is it? Danny Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, and Stephen Baldwin, right? I would think Stephen's like the black sheep. I would imagine. Because they're all kind of different.
Yeah, and you know, there is a clip that I'm holding for a future show with his other brother saying something interesting, referring to Epstein Island.
I met Danny Baldwin in Orange County, California about 15 years ago, and he was like drunk and asleep on a couch. He was doing some commercial for a mortgage company, and I walked in and I walked right past him, and I offered him some water, and he was like sweaty and oily and just laying on the couch, whatever. He probably doesn't even remember, but it was like, 15, 20 years ago. I was like, damn.
Which rating is the most profitable?
I would say PG.
Wrong. It's G. The children's films that are animated stories like Cinderella are the most profitable in all of Hollywood, and yet they're 30% of the production. So why would the system make 70% of something that doesn't make as much as the 30%? Why? Because it's spiritual. Because the
boom, right there.
Yep.
Devil runs Hollywood, and he wants that negative 70% to teach your kids all these other things. But the 30%, which makes the most money, is happiness and loving your mom and dad, and they make the most money. Why would...
Damn.
That's
spiritual
crazy.
war. It's a spiritual war. 100% spiritual war. And what is this one, RosAngel? What are we looking at here?
It's alluding to, you know, the faith.
Now is Stephen Baldwin a Christian? He's obviously a Christian, right? I mean, if he's this deep into the spiritual war, you got to have I would imagine he's got his armor on.
He has to. I mean, you notice that people, when they're been in Hollywood in these type of settings, it seems like they know that the best way to fight the devil, obviously, is to surrender, to go and lead a Christian life. And you know, some people are doing that organically, and then there are some celebrities that have all of a sudden adopted a great repentance, and it just doesn't seem or feel organic to people.
Next verse talks about how he has to curse and swear in order to get them to leave. He had to sound more like them to disassociate himself from him. And if our mission is really to connect people with Jesus, we have to ask ourselves the question, who do we sound like?
No.
Mm-hmm. You know, the word is your wand. And even though we started the show with depravity and the state of some pockets of the universe that we live in, there are a lot of people who have awakened to that bigger thing that connects all of us, that I'm convinced is one of the reasons that even brought this show together for you and me, from like New York, Puerto Rican, and you in Texas. It has to be that spirituality that we're both connected to as we serve and share this work with others. I truly believe that. It's the main thing that I've seen that in this cultural spiritual war, when you see people on the left and on the right fighting each other. I mean, I like to just tell people, like, what side is feeding life, what's planting seeds and growing, and how are we doing that, and there's a lot of bitterness. I was sharing with you earlier that today something very unfortunate happened in New York City. And when I looked at that video, it gave me a headache. It was just because it's so negative. And I know that whether or not that was a planned incident, which now that I mentioned it to the community, someone really bad lit a match and threw it on a lady who was sleeping on the train. And the person just sat there watching her in a daze as this happened. And was that person hijacked, or was that person on something, or did something evil hijack that person to create that thing and light somebody on fire? And again, we said in the last show that this is the magic of Christmas. Every year just keeps getting like more hijacked. And I understand a lot of people are like, this is a Hallmark holiday. If you choose it to be a Hallmark holiday, for many of us is a season where we get together with our loved ones and we acknowledge and we appreciate each other, and we do that through food, dancing, and maybe exchanging gifts. And that joy is just, they're trying to hijack it away from us. And my message to all of you is, I know that it's just been a difficult year. It's been rough for me, to trust me. But I'm still going to try to tap into the lights and the spirit of Christmas and remember what this season is about. And this is why I think we add more lights and we make it more warm, so we can feel that inside in our hearts. And I think we all need it. So I wanted to end on a good note tonight.
Yeah,
and wish all of you a happy holiday too.
Yeah. This is proof that the spiritual war is climaxing. Like it's coming to a head. And I mean, we started this segment out with depravity and someone going through, I mean, that even at her own spirit, in her spiritual level, that's to me completely demonic. And I'm sure I'd like to know from my audience, do you believe she's just super liberal, or do you feel like that's demonic? Do you feel a demonic energy with that? Because that's what I feel. There's nothing liberating about that. It's disgusting, in my opinion. Even Sancho says it's disgusting. So for me to say that is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. To say it, it's pretty crazy. Sancho's the only star of his movie. but I also think the drones are taking our sight away from what we should be focused on. Everyone's looking up. That's completely deliberate. We're looking up into the sky at the signs in the heavens, right? These false signs of aliens and drones, whatever, and our imaginations are running wild and they're all over the internet. That's another distraction away from Christmas, from Jesus, And then we go to Stephen Baldwin that's talking about his cryptic messages. They know we're coming for them. So I think this tied together really well, and I want to give you all the credit for that. You put these segments together, so everyone give a thumbs up to RosAngel Perez for this segment. It was stellar. It was awesome. You can see RosAngel at 𝗂𝗶𝗶𝗶. I'll put the link down there below at YouTube. If I hope I don't forget, but I'll put it down there. Just remind me. But this has been, I think this was tied together nicely. I think you did a great job on this and it flowed.
Thank you. Well, and thank you for the opportunity to share these segments with you. It's been a lot of fun. And as you know, we have lots of more materials to cover in upcoming shows.
I mean, this is an entertainment segment, folks, but this one had a little bit of a serious note. And I kind of try to add that into all my segments with you, RosAngel, because everyone knows what my channel is really about. It's about the red pill. It's about waking people up. Some people take the black pill. That's up to them. I always say the red pill is different only in the fact that you have to have faith. You got to believe we're going to get through this. and believe in God. And this segment is, to me, proof that we are in eyeballs deep right now. And if we're not eyeballs deep, we're waist deep right now in spiritual war, in a spiritual conflict. And they're taking our sight away from Christmas. They're going after our children. Stephen Baldwin is sending out these cryptic messages showing that we're coming for you. And they're trying to play this card. And this is the big card they're playing. And I mean, folks, we're in it, man. We're in it. I think this is going to intensify up until inauguration. I'll be at this point now. I'll be really surprised if there's no big distraction before the inauguration. I think it's already happening. I think they're getting ready to play a card like that. So I think they're going all in with this. It looks like it to me. Do you agree?
I mean, just like with the optics of having like Kamala Harris and Biden interrupt their Christmas, really like partying and just emergency really late, go return to the White House. What's going on? And, I have a really like sinking feeling, like, even when I contemplate the inauguration and then when this relief pack, this government shutdown that was avoided, but the package that was voted on is good till March 2025. And I don't know, it just sort of like, okay, like maybe that means nothing and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but March 2025 has also been a season that some people speculate could be when the real inauguration happens.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, folks, please like and share this video. Only if you enjoyed it, please share it and like it, and leave a comment below. All right. And what would you like for me and RosAngel to cover the next segment? I'd like to get some opinions on that. And get your shirt, Sancho Claus. Sancho Claus has never done 101 in one day. I'll say that right now. She's got me beat. All right. Thank you, RosAngel. Appreciate
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.